Welcome back to the Curtain Wire with Jared. I'm excited for my next guest, Dorothy Benham, who is Miss Minnesota 1976 and Miss America 1977. Dorothy, thank you so much for joining.
You're welcome. It was nice to see you a couple weeks ago.
Yes, absolutely. So we're gonna dive right into it. Um, so thinking back, what inspired you or what made you want to pursue pageantry?
Oh, yes, that's
We're gonna go all the way back, yeah.
yes, so let's hope my memory proves me right.
Oh, yeah.
No, my mother had competed
Oh,
um
okay.
decades ago. So she was the first Mrs. Minnesota. The
Oh,
very
okay.
first Mrs. Minnesota, and then she was runner up at the Mrs. America pageant. So pageantry was in my mother's blood, as
Oh,
was acting and singing, anything within the arts. So, then she has two daughters, and I have a sister who's 9.5 years older than I am. And she was the first to compete. Mother thought she should compete. I believe it was for Miss Minneapolis. And I remember going to that, and my sister was talent winner. She also sang, and fourth runner up. And she never wanted to compete again after that, too. And, mom was fine with that. And I think a lot of it was, well, I still have a younger daughter.
yeah.
But then we had a cousin right in between, age-wise, in between my sister and myself. So Roxanne, my mother encouraged her to run for Miss Brainerd in Minnesota, and Roxanne did it, and she was swimsuit winner and fourth runner-up.
Oh,
Now they're all
yeah,
looking at me going,
yeah,
you're next, you're next.
yeah,
I'm going, I'm
yeah,
not doing this. I'm
yeah.
not going to do this. And I was adamant about it until
Really?
in college. Now, we all grow up watching the pageant. I mean, that was a
Yes.
big thing
Yep.
back in that day. So
Yep.
I had been competing vocally, and I had already won all the vocal competitions for my category, age, etc. And I had to wait another year before I could go into the next category. So on comes the Miss America pageant, and I'm at home watching it with a friend of mine, and I went, they get scholarship money. So
Yeah.
my parents had been watching it at a friend of theirs. They came home, and I went, okay, I'll try. Let's see what can happen. Well, that was September, and by the end of the next month, they had found a local for me to compete in. Now, you have to remember, not all locals were open back then. There were very,
Oh.
very few. You were supposed to compete in your city. And
Ah, okay.
the cities around, I lived in, Minneapolis, they had
Yeah.
already taken place. So my stepfather found that South St. Paul's was still coming up, and it was open. So some people were
Oh.
okay with my going over there, and other town people were not happy. They were
Ugh.
very unhappy when I
Really?
won,
Oh,
you
wow.
know. And it was all in the editorials that how could this girl from Minneapolis come over here and win our program? And you have to let a lot of that slide because it was open.
Yep.
So that was what, end of October? I think it was end of October or the first week of November of 75. So the next step is next June to go to Miss Minnesota. So anyway, yeah, I won, and I won the categories. So I won talent, I won swimsuit, and left there going, oh, okay, well, I have until June. So I just went to
Right.
back to school and did my appearances as Miss South St. Paul. And then June came along, and I
Yeah.
won.
Yeah.
And I won both swimsuit and talent there as well. And now you've got about 2.5 months to really, get ready
Uh,
for Miss America. But for me, that was really more of, do we change the gown? Do we change the swimsuit? They were so wonderful, the Miss Minnesota people,
Yeah.
but I had a chip on my front tooth, so they wanted me to saw my teeth off.
Oh,
And that was how you did it back then.
really? Okay.
This is old. This
That,
is
yeah.
old stuff. And I went, nah, no, no, I knew I had a little chip, which has since been fixed.
Yeah.
Um, but I wasn't about to go and saw my teeth
Yeah.
off. I said I already won with a little chip in my tooth, so I'll live
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
And they wanted me to change the color of my swimsuit because it was white. I got it for $12, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and we didn't have money, so I really relied on my mom and her skills for sale shopping and then using the little bit of wardrobe money.
Yeah.
But they said, well, nobody wins in a white bathing suit. I said, I won 2 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as it ends up, you had to bring 2 swimming suits anyway. So I went back down to the Curtis Hotel downtown Minneapolis, and they had a yellow one. So I said, oh, I have another one. It's in yellow. But I wore the white at Miss America, and I won swimsuit there in white. So I don't think you should ever label anything,
Yeah.
ever. They also wanted me to change my song selection because they said nobody at Miss America wins with Adele. And I go, yeah, but well, I haven't sung it there,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I won talent twice with it. And when you're comfortable with something, why not just stay with it? We did try to find another song. Both my parents were looking, my voice teacher and I were looking, and there were many things that I could have done. I just didn't think they were as fun,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
stuck with Adele and I won talent with Adele. So it really was because of my mother and all of us getting into pageantry.
Yeah, yeah. So along with that, let's talk about more into your talent, so music and singing. Um, was that it sounds like you that's also like a family th like you all sing as well, or did that or how did the music come up in your life?
Well, my mother was very musical,
Okay.
a beautiful singer.
Yeah.
And so of course she would lean that direction. As a matter of fact, her parents, who were from Finland and learned to speak English here in America, Finnish was her first language. They didn't quite understand their daughter and why she was so enraptured with all the musicals and the singing stars and back in the
Yeah.
day. But
Yep.
they just, and her father was pretty strict about no nail polish, nothing like that. So I think she was ready to get out
Yeah.
and make her. So she went into movies. She was Metro Goldwyn Mayer's Golden Girl. So out of,
Oh.
I don't remember how many hundreds, 2 or 3 were chosen, and she went into a couple of movies and had started down that path. Then she met Archie Benham, who of course I thought was my father, but
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But that's a whole story in
Yeah.
itself, which I've written about. But anyway, she gave it all up. He took her away from Hollywood and went to Minnesota. So it really comes from her. But then on Archie's, on the Benham side, my great great grandfather was a very successful and well known vaudevillian performer. And he did it all.
Yeah.
John T. Kelly did it all from the age of 10 up. A vaudeville producer grabbed him up because as a 10-year-old he walked into the theater there in Boston and said, do you need a good tap dancer? And he goes, why, do you know one? He goes, me.
Hey, yeah.
And he tapped for him. So John T. Kelly was a composer, a poet, um, a comedian. He was a well-known Irish comedian.
Yeah.
So he did it all. He wrote things, he wrote plays. So I have to think I've got it from both sides.
Both sides, yeah. And so, what types of like performing and music did you do growing up, like especially in the Minnesota area and even beyond?
Well, there again, here comes my mother, because
Yeah.
we're all in grade school. Well, my sister wasn't, because she was the oldest. So she was already off into high school and all of that. And my mother was part of the Armitage women, the Armitage ladies singer, mother singers, Armitage mother singers. Armitage was our grade school. And out of that group of women that put on a concert every year, my mother decided to start writing musicals. So she took all the stories of Wizard of Oz, Snow White, etc., and she wrote them herself. And then held auditions in the grade school so that grade school kids would have an opportunity to try out, be cast. And she always had a little chorus, and she put on musicals
Oh, that's
every
cool.
year. Yeah. So, there's a lot there. So that's where it started. And because I also took dance, if when I was young, she would give me a little dancing role
Oh,
in one of them. Um, and then as you get older, she would almost double cast so that everybody had an opportunity.
chance. Oh,
And then
yeah.
junior high came along, and of course, it was just choirs and the church choirs and things like that. And then high
Yeah.
school, to where I was the main soloist for the high school choir and things like that. And then off to college. So
Yeah.
it started at a young age.
Yeah. Oh, that's so neat. I also, you have a book you mentioned.
I do.
Yeah, can you tell us more about your book that you have that you've written and everything?
Yes, when you become Miss America, people are going, "Oh, you need to write a book. You need to write a
Yeah.
book." And many of them, almost all of them have. And I go, "What am I going to write about? Everybody's already written about it. I have
Mhm.
nothing really special. Oh, just write about your life." And I'm going, I don't
Yeah.
know. Well, then in 2019, there was a little hint from my older brother that maybe Archie Benham wasn't my father. And I went, well, that's silly.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah.
You're saying mother went and did
Yeah.
something else. And I said, and I just kind of tossed it off.
Yep.
And then I moved down to Florida, and I was with my older sister. I stayed with her for a year. And then all of a sudden, from the Benham side of the family, one of the wives of the Benham men, Archie was married 4 times. So
Okay.
there's kids from all 4 marriages. And we started to receive pictures and things from Beverly, because she now had Alzheimer's. And she said, "Before I forget, I want to distribute these." I know I'm making this a longer story, but
No, no, no.
within that, she sent things. And there was one picture that my mother had as well. And I always thought, well, there's mother. That's me as a baby, not even a year yet.
Yeah.
My half brother, Gary Benham. And who's this woman? This other woman. Well, Beverly had written on the back, Dorothy Kathleen, Gary, and Virtue. Well, Virtue was Gary's mother. That was our first family photo. I later learned that I was Gary's child.
Whoa. Oh
My
my.
mother had a little affair with her stepson.
Oh my
I,
goodness.
I know,
Okay.
right?
Wow.
And so anyway, I started doing all sorts of DNA testing
Yeah.
and that, and then calling who I thought was my half niece, who was Gary's daughter. And then the cousins who I thought were just other half nieces of mine, come to find out, no, you're my first cousins. You guys are first cousins to me. And now Kylan is my half sister. She's not my niece. She
Wow.
was she
Okay.
was my flower girl in my first wedding, because mother goes, "Oh, you should have Kylan." And she's
Yeah.
lovely. She's lovely. I
Yeah.
adore her. So we've had some good laughs about this and
Yeah.
understanding about it.
Yeah.
And and so anyway, I said, "Well, now I have a book." So I
Yeah.
started to read stories of other people who it later in life found out that one of the parents wasn't who they thought it was. So I did. I immediately sat down and started to write a book, and it was all over the place because I'd have Louis read it and he goes, "You have too many different books in here. So you have to condense." So really
Right.
what it became was the relationship between me and my mother and how I understand her better now. Because of
Yeah.
she didn't have a good marriage with Archie, that was sad, but at least she had found, as Kylan said, comfort in having somebody else.
Yeah.
That her dad and my mom found comfort in one another.
Yeah.
I'm glad that later, and Gary, of course, being younger, eventually found his wife Judy, and they had Kylan
Yeah. Yeah.
because she was wonderful. you know.
Yes.
So it
Yeah.
made me happy that Gary eventually found happiness and love with
Yeah.
somebody else. So anyway, I'm not Archie's daughter. I'm still a Benham. I'm just a step down the ladder. So it's
Yeah. Oh
like
my. Yeah.
interesting and how it affected everybody that I finally
Yeah.
knew. But all the Benhams on that side knew all my life. They all knew I was Gary's daughter, and none of them said a word.
Oh wow.
But now we go to my older brother, Kelly, and a year after I'd written it, he goes, "I think I'm Gary's son." Because there's a whole other bunch of little
Yeah.
stories in there. And I said, "Well, Kelly, I'm going to tell you right now. Do the ancestry. I did them on
Yeah.
all the sites. I even did a professional one with Kylan and me just to make sure that we were siblings. And so he did the ancestry.com. And I said, when it comes up, you can call me. But if you are related to any of this person, and that person, you are Gary's son. That's the only way you can be related to them. And he is.
Oh my
He's Gary's
gosh.
son. So we didn't find that out until after I'd already, published the book and all of that. So a year and a half later, yes, I have one full sibling that I know of.
Oh my gosh. That's so, oh my goodness. Yeah. And the
Yeah.
title of your book is
Oh, it's Bastard Queen,
Bastard Queen. Okay. I'm gonna put that on my reading
which
list. Yeah.
which some people just they go, "Why did you say that?" And I go, "Because it's the first thing that popped into my head as I went, I'm
Yeah.
a bastard child,
No.
but I'm a
Yeah.
queen."
Yes, yes,
You know?
yes.
And some people
Oh,
go, "No, no, no, don't call it that." And I said, "I don't know why. I just feel
yeah.
like it's not anything we should be ashamed of. It's been
Yeah.
going on for centuries."
And so all of those, what you were discussing, that's all like in that book, then a lot of those. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to add that to my reading. I'm gonna put that on my
It
reading
is.
list.
Yep,
So,
I just didn't know that Kelly was my full sibling yet. And then
okay.
I had to call Kylan and say, "Well, you have a brother too."
Yeah.
you know?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So in
Yeah.
that book then it's about like obviously the family and then like I'm sure like Miss America's
Yes,
to go
a
into other
lot of my
things and
yes, how I was raised
okay.
and mother's influence, and then all through high school, junior high and high school, and into college, and then how I go into becoming Miss America.
Okay.
And I put a little bit in there about my marriages. I was
Yeah.
not married to Louis yet. So I didn't dwell on that a lot,
Sure.
but I did do little snippets
Yeah.
because that would be an entire book in itself.
Right, right.
And I still have children that, I go, do they really need to know anymore? No, not right
Yeah.
now. And they're all adults and they do
Yeah.
know a lot of
Yeah.
things. So I just kind of tucked that in there.
Yeah.
But it really then just evolved into my mother
Yeah.
and things like I moved back to Minnesota to get married the second time. Isn't that awful?
No.
it's a good thing I can laugh about it,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they're
yeah.
not funny things. And I don't wish divorce upon anyone. It is not a
Right.
pleasant thing to go through. But anyway, I moved back to Minnesota and I had 4 kids at the time, and my then husband wanted a child. That's a whole story in itself.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Well, does Manny Eisenberg have anything for you on Broadway?" And I went, "I just moved to Minnesota. I cannot be a mother and a wife in Minnesota and be on Broadway."
Right. Yeah.
I'd had it, I was on Broadway. I had a taste of that. It was
Oh,
wonderful.
yes.
But you know what? We make decisions in our lives
Yeah.
and we have to live with those. And then I
Yes.
had 2 more beautiful children. So
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah. Absolutely. So so during the writing the book, like the process, how was that for you? And then also like how was it received maybe by those who read it after?
well, uh, the feedback I got is most people loved it. My second son said, "I loved the book, Mom. I cried, I laughed,
Oh,
and this and that." So when that comes from a child,
yeah.
that's probably the best feeling you can have. But anyway, we put it out there, and
Yeah.
the first day went to what is it, the best selling
Oh,
or
yeah.
whatever, because if you sell so many on like the first day, and I go, "Oh, well, that's kind of nice."
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
I had posted about that, and then of course, once everybody's had their fill of it, especially the pageant world people,
Yes. Oh, yeah.
then it's kind of done. Once in
Yeah.
a while, you'll sell another one here and there. But for me, it I enjoyed the process. It's a
Yeah.
lot of work. Plus, I was trying to do it quickly
Right.
because we were going to present it up in Atlantic City that
Oh,
September. It was what was that? It was in 21, I think, and it was just I can't even remember, celebration.
yeah.
So we were doing. So they said, "Let's do a book opening," and some of the proceeds of that evening then went to the Miss America
Oh, nice.
Former Scholarship Foundation.
Yeah.
So we did
Sure.
all of that up there, and that was great fun. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was quick. It's not really easy to write a book.
Oh, yeah.
I thought if I had taken another year, I probably could have made it longer. But it's a quick read, and it's a snippet into a life and what happens when you find out that you aren't somebody's daughter. Was I angry? No.
Right.
Was
Yeah.
I sad? No.
Right.
This was eye-opening to me.
Yeah.
And then I go, am I like weird that I'm kind of enjoying
Oh,
this? But I was accepting. I accepted the fact that, first of all, none of us are perfect. And we all look for the best, the happiness and love that we can in
yeah.
life. And sometimes we get it right and sometimes we get it wrong. And I think back on, I'm glad that my mother had some kind of love and all of that while she was married to Archie.
Yeah.
Archie, because she married, and then Archie passed away when I was a senior in high school, and then she remarried my high school choir director.
Oh,
Just
I was
keep it
just
all in there.
yeah.
And he was wonderful, and he gave her a wonderful life. The excuse me,
Yeah.
he died 13 years after, but she married men that were 25, 27 years older than her.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
you
Oh,
know
wow.
so she was
Yeah.
widowed twice, and it was fascinating insight to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I people go, "Oh, this has to be healing for you," and I go, "But I don't feel like I'm healing from anything."
Right. Right.
And I thought,
Yeah.
am I numb? Am I a cold person?
Oh,
It's life.
yeah. It's fascinating. Your story's fascinating. I'm excited to read that now. I'm gonna
It's
put
a
that on my
quick
reading
read,
list.
Jared.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna add it on. So, you mentioned Broadway. Tell us about your Broadway experience.
Oh, yeah. So I had
Yes.
an agent in New York, and at the time I had 3 children and was expecting my fourth, and lived in Connecticut with my first husband. And my agent would send me out on commercial auditions and things like that, TV, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then I became pregnant, gave birth to my fourth child. And 2 months after she was, oh, no, they called and they said, hey, we want you to go. We know that you're due like any day. And I went, yeah, like in 2 days.
Yeah.
And they said, can you get into New York and go meet this casting director? And I said, sure. And they said, bring your resume and a tape cassette.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because that's what we had at the time, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So anyway, I said, sure. So I drove into New York City and I met with Jay Binder. And I'm, 9 months pregnant.
Yeah.
And I handed him my things. We chatted for a while. And Jay said, okay, well, we'll keep all of this. And he goes, and when are you due? And I went, tomorrow.
Oh my
I
gosh.
said,
Yeah.
tomorrow is my due date. And he goes, thank you very much. And walked me out
Yeah.
the door. My first and only child to be late by a week.
Yeah.
Everybody else was
Oh,
early.
early. Oh,
He was
okay.
late, which is probably a good thing. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, I missed the Miss America pageant that year when Gretchen won because I was giving birth.
Oh,
So I
oh,
had to
yeah.
watch Gretchen be born there. Anyway,
Yeah.
so 2 months later, now my daughter's 2 months old, and I called my agent and I said, you know what? I'm ready to anything you have that you want to send me out on, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So they called right back and they said, actually, can you get in tomorrow? They need a singer to sing somewhere from West Side Story. Now they did not tell me what it was for. And they said, in this key, and blah, blah, go to this theater and blah, and bring dance shoes. And I'm like, what in the world? So they said, so do that. I didn't have the music to somewhere. So I quickly called a music store and I said, do you have the music to somewhere? Yes. And I said, but you close in like 30 minutes. And I said, I'm coming right now. Please don't lock your doors. I need this. So I ran over, got it, and got the kids, dinner and ready for bed and all of that. And then I stayed up for hours memorizing.
Oh,
And,
wow.
somewhere I was a lyric coloratura, and
Yeah.
somewhere is really, I mean, it's I always thought a little
Or
lower soprano.
yeah.
I have a nice range. I have a pretty big range, but it starts low. And for a high soprano to get the right sound and all, anyway, I
Yeah.
memorized it, and I took my mother was with me because she would come out when the babies were born. And I said, you want to go into New York with me today? So I said, I don't know what it's for. I think it's a concert. They need somebody to sing this song, and there must be some movement because I have
Yeah.
to bring dance shoes. So we go, and we go to this theater. I don't remember which theater now that the auditions were held at. And I mean, this back room was filled with women. And I knew a few of them
Oh.
from pageants.
Oh, yes.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so, one by one, they're all going out and singing somewhere, and then they're dismissed. And then another one, and one of the girls that I knew, um, she came back, she goes, oh, I've been sent through to the dance auditions. And I went, that's exciting,
Yeah.
but I don't know what this is. I go out and sing, and the conductor, Paul Gemignani, was seated in the middle of the auditorium, and you start to sing, right? So I
Yep.
sing somewhere all the way through, and then he says to the accompanist, okay, take it up a key. So now I'm singing it again. He stops, he goes up another key. So I realized he was checking my range.
Oh, yes. Yep.
And I think he understood that I was much higher soprano
Yeah.
than what I was singing. So anyway, he goes, okay, I need you to go over to blah, 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 take your dance shoes, and they'll see you over there. Now I'm a little confused, but I go back and I go, okay, Mom, let's go quick have some late breakfast because now I
Yeah.
have to go sing again. Oh, we went down to, you know what that building, 890 Broadway.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yep.
And I walk in now and I see this mass of young people in this one room, and they're all in like dance outfits and things. And
Yeah.
I'm brought back to sing for somebody along with the other gal who I knew, and she's lovely, and she's been on
Yeah.
Broadway for years. And we're waiting and waiting and waiting, and I'm going first. I was told to
Yeah.
go first, and in walks this little man. And now I didn't grow up in the dance world, but being in music, you hear enough about all of
Yeah.
that. And he comes in, he does not introduce himself. He just says hello. And the accompanist comes in with him, and he said, okay, go ahead and sing. And in my mind, I'm going, is this Jerome Robbins? This is Jerome Robbins.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is Jerome Robbins. And so I sing the song, and I finish. He goes, "Thank you very much." And I go, well, "You're welcome." So I walk out the door, grab my mom, and now we're walking to the train station to go back home in Connecticut. And all of a sudden, I hear running behind us, and I'm grabbed by the shoulder, and I'm thinking, I'm getting mugged.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, no, it was an assistant to Jerry Robbins, and he said, "We're so sorry, but Jerry would like to hear you sing again. Can you come back?" And I said, "Sure." So we just
Yeah.
turned around. Luckily, we were
Yeah.
only a few blocks away. Went
Sure.
back, and he said, "This time I'm going to turn around. I'm not going to look at you when you sing." I said, "Okay." Oh,
Yeah.
plus we'd already been put through a 45-minute dance audition.
Right. Yeah.
So we had waited a while for Jerry to come in. So I sang again, and then he said, "Thank you very much." And then as I'm
Yeah.
walking out, I said to somebody, "Is it safe? Should I leave to catch the next train?" They said, "Yeah, you can go."
Yeah.
Took the train home, which was a couple hours. And
Yeah.
then we walk in through the back door into the kitchen, and the phone is ringing. I still have my coat on. And my husband at the time picked it up, and he goes, "It's your agent. It's for you." And she goes, "Are you seated?" And I go, "No, I just walked in the door. I don't even have my coat off." She
Yeah.
goes, "Take your coat off and sit down." I said, "Okay." I know these stories get long. Sorry,
No, no,
dear.
no, no, no. This is
Um,
perfect.
so I sat down. She goes, "Well, you got it." And I go, "Well, what did I get?" I said, "Nobody's ever explained to me. Is it a
Yeah.
concert where
Right.
they just," and she goes, "No, it's a Broadway show, and it's going to be the biggest Broadway show." And I'm going, "You didn't tell me because you knew I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't go." I just had had a fourth child. So a
Right.
gig here and there is one thing. And she said, "They want you there tomorrow, but I told them you just had a baby and you need an extra day." So I went, "Okay, so should I tell them yes?" And I said, "Let me call you back. I need to ask my voice teacher."
Mm-hmm.
Because my voice teacher did not teach people who were in musical theater. She only taught opera.
Mm-hmm.
So I called Doris, and I said, "Doris, here's the situation."
Yeah.
And I said, "I don't know if I take this or not." And she said, "Dorothy, Dorothy, I have a
Yeah.
confession to make." And I go, "Okay." And she goes, "I was in 500 productions of a Broadway show." And I went, "What?"
Yes. Yeah.
And she said, "Take it." She said, "You
Oh,
do
yeah.
need to take it, but don't get comfortable."
Yeah.
Because she didn't
Yeah.
want me to give up opera. Eventually I
Yeah.
did, but that was
Yeah.
because of marriages and children and things
Right.
like that. So anyway, I took it, and that was my experience right there.
Oh, that's so fascinating, the
And
whole
that's the second
process.
time that I ran into my now husband.
Yes. Okay.
So
Oh my gosh.
anyway, so
Yeah.
that's how I ended up on Broadway in that show. Wonderful experience
Experience.
for me.
Yeah.
Wonderful people. So I'm happy I had that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to go transition back to Miss America here. Tell us about that experience of being at Miss America, the moment that you were crowned, all the things. Tell us all the things.
So my goal in competing at Miss America was not to win. It
Right.
was to do the best I could do so that I would feel good
Yeah.
with what I had presented in representing myself and my state people, my
Yeah.
state. So my goal was to win talent.
Yeah.
That's all. I didn't need to
Yeah.
win swimsuit. I just wanted to be talent winner on my night.
Yeah.
And I think, well, I was never nervous. It's not like I
Yeah.
get nervous performing, but it just made me, I think, that much more relaxed.
Yeah.
So I went out, and the first night I did the on stage presentation, which back then was evening gown. And we just stood up to the mic and said a little something about ourselves. So we had no questions. Only questions were an interview. And then the next night I competed, I had talent, and I won. And I went, I'm good. I
Yeah.
can go
Yeah.
home now,
Right. Yeah.
And then the next night of competition, I won swimsuit. And I went, well, that's just the cherry on top, right?
Yeah.
So I'm really ready to go home. I've met these wonderful women. And then the next night was the final night. So now we're at Saturday night. And I started doing a little math in my head. And I went, well, I've won swimsuit and I've won talent. So you have so many points.
Right.
And I know I didn't do poorly in interview. I didn't think I had done
Yeah.
poorly in interview. So I said, I think I have enough points to where I should be top 10,
Yeah.
which again is wonderful,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I made top 10. And then I started thinking, I may win this. I mean, I may win this. I may not be
Yeah.
going home. So I thought, well, if that happens, it happens. And
Hmm.
sure enough, that's what happened. But, thinking back on all of this, I don't know what thoughts the other candidates had. They
Right.
all may have felt like they were going to win too.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I had a wonderful group of 50 young women,
Yeah.
very talented, very nice, really interesting women. So, yeah, I won. And that
Yeah.
was that. I had a professor who had to go around to all my classes and unregister my college.
Oh, yeah.
He goes, I did that. I said, thank you, Dr. Batts. I appreciate it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
it was for me a wonderful experience. I would never have traded it for
Yeah.
anything. It sets your life in a different direction.
Yeah.
And that's okay because I
Yeah.
just felt that was where my journey in life was supposed to take me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell us about like some of the highlights of your Miss America year, like things that maybe you did or just really fun moments that you remember?
Oh, there's so many that
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard to remember all of them.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
once in a while, I'll go back and look at newspaper clippings, or
Yeah.
somebody will want something, and I go, look at all this stuff. But,
Yeah.
you know, um, first, the little children were really fascinating. I mean, they were charming because they
Yeah.
were all mesmerized by a crown, by
Yeah.
anybody in a crown. And all the young women I met who were competing in the system and their stories as to why. And
Yeah.
some of them, I remember this one young gal, she goes, oh, I'm not in this to win it. She goes,
Yeah.
I just compete because I learn and I grow from this. And I've met
Yeah.
wonderful friends. Um, and then, of course, working with people like Bob Hope and Phyllis Diller and meeting all these other celebrities that you go,
Yeah.
I grew up watching all of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but one of the nicest highlights was the USO tour. So for a full, really 6 weeks, maybe longer, you're all together. And back then it was the Miss America producers, George Cavalier, would choose 6 other people that competed with me. And for our USO tours, they either wanted 4 singers and 3 dancers or 4 dancers and 3 singers, but you had to kind of be able to do both,
Yeah.
similar to Broadway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So George would pick 6 other young women, and the 7 of us got to travel overseas and perform for our group. And there's a bonding there that, you get to experience this. So the goal of many young women, if they didn't make top 10 at Miss America, their other goal was to be chosen for the
Oh,
USO tour. And
yeah.
every year it would change. So our year, we went to the Orient, Japan, Korea, Okinawa, Philippines, and Guam. And then the next year, they would go over to like the Mediterranean or something like that, or Europe. So they
Oh,
would alternate it.
alternate. Okay.
That was great fun. It was
Yeah.
great fun. And I remember us doing our show for a group of people in Atlantic City before we left to go overseas.
Wow.
And they loved it. I thought we had a great USO troop. And then we left to go overseas, and the acclamation to hearing all these military people, I said, are they even listening to us? Because they were cheering so loudly.
Yeah. Oh,
And
that's
the
so,
stories of them coming up, because sometimes we'd have time to visit with them a
yeah.
little bit after, and they'd say, would you take this? Can you call my mom? Would you call my grandma? Would you do this? And they give all of us different things to do. And we did, I know we all tried.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when we came back home and we didn't have all the cheering through the whole show, we go, oh, well, that's the difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
That was wonderful. And then as soon as our tour ended, we went straight into the week of rehearsals for Miss America.
Oh,
And
wow.
I mean, it's all very, very quick.
Yeah.
Back in the old days
Yeah.
when I competed, we were only there for a week. A lot of us flew in Saturday or Sunday, and rehearsals started, and the first show was Wednesday. Parade was Tuesday. The first show was Wednesday.
Oh, wow.
Crowning was Saturday. It was
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
Today they're there a long time, I think,
Yeah.
or they
Yeah.
have been years.
Yeah.
So the
Absolutely.
USO troop was really a
Real.
highlight.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
And to be able to
Yeah.
share that with them.
Yeah. That's awesome. What are your thoughts on how the Miss America pageant and the organization has evolved over the years? Like, what are your, yeah, just like the changes or the how it's evolved and
um, well, okay, this is touchy.
yeah, yeah,
Some
yeah.
um oh, if I'm honest, I'm
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
I'm sad that it fell by the
Sure.
wayside. In some ways I understand.
Yep.
And I do try to understand why certain people who were running it at the time took it in a direction they thought would help it.
Yeah.
I do. I get all that. I get
Yes.
moving ahead, because if it wasn't for somebody like Lenora Slaughter back in the day saying, we're taking her off the beach, we're going to give her talent, we want a
Yeah.
well-rounded, we wouldn't have gotten to where we were.
Yeah.
Um, it's just that for me and many of us, we saw it sliding.
Yeah. Yep.
And now they're trying to keep it alive.
Yeah.
And we all worked really hard thinking it would come back.
Right.
And
Right.
there were years, but even in the past, there were years it couldn't be held at a certain time. COVID was one of them.
Right.
Uh,
Yep.
uh, and I think because I have worked so closely in every aspect of this
Yes.
program,
Yeah.
and I know too much of what goes on behind the scenes,
Yeah.
and I'm not happy with it, if I'm honest.
Understandable. Yep. Yeah.
So it is not the program it was when I competed.
Right. Right.
And um, you try, many of us try every year to go get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but it's at a place that I just wish it wasn't. Is
Right.
that okay if I
Understandable.
say that? I'm
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
So I have my memories. I
Yeah.
have what we considered the golden era.
Yeah.
I was
Yep.
part of that,
Yeah.
and I'm proud of that.
Yes.
You know?
Well, we also celebrated your 50th anniversary.
Yes, it's
This
my
was
50th this year.
yes. So what does that mean to you then?
That I'm old.
No.
I'm old and
No.
tired, but
No.
I made it.
Yes,
You know.
yes, yeah,
Um, well, I'm happy that Miss America made it to 100
yeah,
years and all of that. I wish it had been a bigger celebration, but they did what they could at the time.
right.
But yeah, 50 years. That's
Yeah,
I'm still here. I'm still
yeah,
around.
yeah,
And I have wonderful memories of
yeah,
it. You know.
absolutely. Yeah. What is your advice for aspiring, young women who want to compete in pageants? What would be your advice for them in
Yes.
today's
So it's the same advice one of my state judges gave to me.
yeah,
And I just don't think anybody should waver from that. I think it's very easy to get caught up and believe everything everybody's telling you to change or
yep,
what it takes to win.
yeah,
And it was like them telling me not to sing a song, this song, not to wear a white bathing. But you know what? They're doing the best they can too. I've
right.
always tried to be very understanding about it, but I think candidates need to stay true to themselves.
Yeah,
And what you need to do is take all the advice that is being given to you and really think about that.
yeah,
And then try to apply it and
yep,
see, does that make me feel better? Or do
yeah,
I feel a little more uneasy about my performance then?
sure.
Whether it's just walking across the stage in a gown, whether it's the talent, whether it's the bathing suit, or whatever it is
Yeah,
they do today, um, does it make you feel better? And if it doesn't, then your gut is telling you you need to stay with what feels good.
right.
So one of my state judges, Larry Moeller, sent me a letter right after he had helped pick me as Miss Minnesota. I still have that letter.
Oh, yeah,
Um, and in it, he said, I think it's in my book too, because I took the letter out.
yeah,
He said, always remain who you are. Don't try to change. Don't try to become somebody you are not. Always be yourself. And really, that was the best advice I have ever received because it's easy to get caught up, and especially back in our day when it was celebrated and
yeah,
you had hair people and makeup people and you had people
yeah,
giving you wardrobe and limousines
yeah,
and press conferences every time you got off an airplane. Sometimes those were in the airport. And then as soon as you were living in a world coming from a college student to this. And
yeah,
so it's very easy to get caught up into that and ego, I think.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so to have those words and go, thank goodness. But I will tell you what, Al Marks was the CEO, whatever you want to call him, of the day.
yeah,
And the next morning, when I met with the whole board of the Miss America, the whole board,
yeah,
wasn't even 12 people.
yeah,
And he reassured me. He more or less told me again what Larry had said. Al Marks looked at me the first morning I was Miss America and he said, Dorothy, only thing I'm going to say to you is be who you are. And I
yeah,
went, oh, second person telling me this. Remain who you are, but please don't forget what it is you're representing and who you are presenting this to.
yeah,
So be respectful. Be
yeah,
very respectful of what I have just been given and grateful,
yeah,
very grateful for it. And yet being told, be who you are.
yeah,
Too hard to be something you're not
yeah,
for a whole year.
yeah, yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
So that was it's the same thing I would tell anybody competing today.
Yeah, that's great advice. Yeah.
I've
Um,
also, and I probably shouldn't interrupt you, but
no,
I've
no,
judged many, many state pageants too.
yeah,
and unfortunately seen some things that ended up not being the way they should have ended up. And there was one state where I said, this girl doesn't want the title. I was head judge, and I'm the only one
Yeah.
saying this.
Yeah.
Um, and she quit the next day. Gave it to the first runner up. I
Give,
said,
oh, wow.
she didn't want it.
Yeah.
It's right there. You can see it in a young woman.
Yeah.
When you do enough judging, you finally can see it.
Yeah.
And I thought, yeah, then, you're being pushed to be somebody you're not.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I also want to ask you, because Minnesota, what are some of your favorite spots in Minnesota, places in Minnesota that you loved
Oh,
growing up, or even when you come back, to the States that you
yeah. I get up to Minnesota at least once a year,
Yeah.
um, sometimes twice. Things have changed so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, I always stay with my dearest friend of 50 years because I met
Oh,
her when
yeah.
I was crowned Miss America. So we have been very dear friends um, since then. Where do I go? Well, for me growing up, it was always walking the lakes. So if I have a chance to be able to go and walk, well, I don't know what they call it today, Lake um,
The
Harriet.
BD. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Lake Harriet, Lake Calhoun. Those were
Yeah.
my growing up
Yeah.
spots that we always met up with. And I have cousins and family that live up in Brainerd, Minnesota. And
Oh, yeah.
so my
Yeah.
summers were spent on Gull Lake
Yeah.
as a child growing up. And now when we go, we have to always go to the original Pancake House because it's now my husband's
Yes.
favorite spot.
Yes. That's a great place. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it
Abs
is. It's seeing friends and
yeah.
but a lot of what I grew up with, I mean, we didn't do a whole lot. We
Yeah.
skateboarded, we had
Yeah.
neighborhood meetups, and
Yeah.
life has changed a lot
Yeah. Yeah.
in my lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And tell us what you're up to now. You're living in the
We're
nice, warm,
down in
sunny
Florida.
South. Yeah.
Yes, we're right on, I can see the ocean right here. So we're right on the ocean. We live in paradise.
Oh, yeah.
Try to not take advantage or, yeah, not to forget, I guess,
Yeah.
that we are so blessed to have
Yeah.
this and to be able
Yeah.
to walk the beach every day. So I don't do a whole lot. We
Yeah.
fish,
Oh, that's fun.
walk the beach. We do go to the Orlando Opera and ballet and
Oh,
different
nice.
galas and things like
Yeah.
that. So we still have that artistic side,
Yeah.
but we're both retired,
Yeah.
um, and then we fly and help our children. We fly up to help them out,
Yeah.
so I feel like I'm in Chicago and Wisconsin a lot.
Lot. Yeah. Yeah.
And if I go up in the winter, Louis goes, "You have a good time."
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Although he had to spend almost all of March in Wisconsin with us
Yeah.
to help my oldest son. So a lot of that is grandchildren
Yeah.
and all of that. So we don't really do a whole
That
lot.
sounds like a
We
lot, though.
play. We
Yes.
just
Yeah.
play.
Yeah. Oh, that's so wonderful. I mean, hey, you're living the retired, living in Florida and spending time with
Yeah.
family, all the fun stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Just slowed down a lot.
yeah.
When you
Yeah.
start to look back on your life and you go, oh my goodness, it was chaotic.
Yeah.
It was chaotic at times. And,
Yeah.
you know, and it gets messier with divorces and remarriages and more children. And then you're trying to keep everybody together. And all of a sudden they're off and they have their
Yeah.
lives and you're there to help them and
Yeah.
love them.
Abs yeah. Absolutely. Well, Dorothy, thank you so much for coming on today and talking. We've
Welcome.
really enjoyed your story and everything. So, but yeah, we'll have to connect when you're back in Minnesota again.
Yeah,
So, awesome.
absolutely.
Well, yes. Well, thank you so much, Dorothy.
Thank you, Jared.
All right.
Bye bye.